send that enrollment number.
Okay, okay, thank you. Uh, Kavita, please put your roll number in the chat box. Kavita, are you a learner?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Please put your roll number in the chat box.
Yeah, my enrollment number is 19568097 I'm a BSCG student.
Okay, just put your roll number in the chat box.
Ma'am, where?
In the chat box.
Where is the chat box?
Uh, just, I guess your my voice is echoing.
Sorry, ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Listen, Kavita, there is a three-line menu.
Yeah, yeah.
Just click it.
Yeah.
In a call messages,
Yeah, yeah, it is there.
uh, write your enrollment number.
Enrollment number I will write, okay?
Okay.
Should I mention my name?
Yeah, no, you just put your roll number.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, done. Hello?
Yeah, you can now close your microphone. Okay, because it's echoing. Please wait for another 5 minutes. Some people are yet to come. Okay. Diptimai, please put your roll number in the chat box. Diptimai, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am, audible. I will put my roll number. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Chinmay, please put your roll number in the chat box. So all are requested to put their roll number in the chat box. Yes, Chinmay. Yes, Chinmay. Any doubt? You can switch on your microphone and you can ask anything. Chinmay.
Am I audible?
Chinmay, you are raising your hand. So, am I audible to you or not?
Left them. Dipti Poki Palmer.
Diptimai, have you written your roll number in the chat box? Yeah, she has
Yes,
written.
ma'am, I already written. I just forget, so I am recalling. I already sent it, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So just wait for another 3 minutes because this is the first class for this session. So we may wait for another 3 minutes because some people are still yet to come. Okay. Bolabhadra, so please put your roll number in the chat box. Oh, he has left the meeting. So you all must have gone through this today's topic, that is physiology 1. So because it is a distance learning program, you must have all gone through this syllabus, and all must have been well versed with the syllabus. So this is actually not a teaching class, this is a counseling class. So what you have read, so our motto or our purpose is to clarify that one. And if you have do not have any doubt also, so I am trying to go through a little bit, touch upon the overall things. Okay. So I guess all of you must be working somewhere and must be full busy, but this program has started today, so you have to devote some of the your times to this class. And another thing I just want to tell you, because IGNU has instructed us that if the learners are not 10 in number, so we should abandon that class. Okay. So because it's a first class, whatever may be the number of students, so we'll definitely counsel them, no problem. But after today, so it's very much required that the number of students must be 10. Okay, so this is 9:11 now. Okay, so I just need a quick introduction from you. So, Mr. Subhranshu, just can you just introduce yourself?
This is Subhanshu Padhi. I'm from Bhubaneswar. I'm studying BSc Geology, Botany and Zoology from IGNOU University.
Okay, so are you working somewhere or just you are studying in IGNOU?
Yeah, I'm working on Tech Mahindra as a desktop support engineer.
Okay, okay. So why you planned for studying this zoology as you are engineer, I guess?
Actually, I want to, I want to learn PhD. So
Oh, you thought this zoology will help you more in doing that PhD. Okay.
yes,
Okay. Miss, sorry, not Miss, Madam Kavita, just let me know you.
Hello, ma'am. Myself Kavita Pradhan. I'm from Jharsuguda.
Okay.
Living in Pandha. Right now, I'm in my in-laws' home because I'm married.
Okay, okay. So,
Because of that,
so you prefer a distance learning.
yeah.
Okay. Madam Dipti,
Yes, ma'am. I already
Kavita, you
completed.
just close your microphone because your phone is echoing. Kavita, madam, just close your microphone. Yes, thank you. Yes, Dipti, madam. Let me know you.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I working in a college. I am teaching to plus 2 students, and
Okay.
because of in my graduation, I already completed my BEd and MPhil work is going on, but due to the work combination is not in my college. By the way, I am from Barampur, and
Okay.
due to for the KV and Navodaya for the PGT post, I don't have botany and zoology at a time, because on that time I choose chemistry as my elective. uh,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that's why I hope that after completing IGNO I am at least eligible for the
Yeah.
PGT post of
Yes, that will be. That will be.
yes. I'm still confusing, ma'am. I'm already done the graduation. Is there any
Okay.
problem to do the two graduation?
I guess there will be no problem because if there
Yes.
will be problem, new people might not have entered you.
Yes, ma'am. So time is already different. I after I 7 year I am doing another again graduation. So hope at least I become eligible for the PGT and TGT post of
Okay.
KV and Navodayas.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Dipti. Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
Gayatri, madam, can I know you? Gayatri, madam, am I audible to you? Uh, I guess she is not here. Mr. Subrat, just let me know you. Yeah, Mr. Subrat. Uh, Subrat sir, just introduce yourself. I guess his audio is off. Okay, I will just request all the participants just put your roll number in the chat box who have not yet put their roll number in the chat box, because this session is being recorded. Okay, because from this they will put your attendance. Okay, so after 9:15 we are instructed not to allow anyone into the classroom. Okay, so just quickly I will just start my presentation to you. Okay. Subrat sir, just close down your microphone. So all participants are requested to put their roll number in the chat box. So let me show you. See, in your mobile or in your laptop. So this is the chat box. So already Subhrangshu sir, Kavita madam, and Dittimai madam has put their roll number. So all are requested to put their roll number like this. Okay, so that it can be recorded that you have attended this class. Okay, so I am going to start my presentation right now. So whether my slides are visible? So anyone of you just
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we will start with this block one, that is physiology one. So we are confined with little bit of time, and within this time, I don't want to be monologue. I want to be dialogue. So I need some questions from your side also. So, but from something we have to start. So I will just show you certain pictures and certain key elements from where you can drag certain things, because you have already studied, because it is a self learning environment. Okay, so let us come start with this nutrition and digestion. Okay, so this as we all know, so nutrition is in our schools also we have studied that nutrition is one of the method by which we can get the energy by the process of oxidation. Okay, so according to the different types of food, the nutrition is of different types. Okay, so if it is, so I have took these pictures from your books only, from the PDF books that is available in e-Gyanakosh. So you all might have gone through that e-Gyanakosh material. Okay, so the type of food, this is your, that can be small particle, that can be large food masses, or fluid or soft tissue type of food, or dissolved organic food. Okay, so according to the different types of food, the method of feeding is different. So just imagine, all of you are from Odisha or from outside. So in between, can I use my mother tongue? All are from
Yes,
Odisha.
ma'am. I think the introduction those students are given, those are some from different state of Odisha. So, sorry, different district of Odisha. So, you can use ma'am Odia.
Okay, okay. So in between, I will try to put some of my Odia language. Okay. So जो type ର ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଥିବ ସେଇ type ର ହିଁ digestive system ଟା ତିଆରି ହେଇଥିବ. So ଯେତେ complicated ଖାଦ୍ୟ, because human beings they used to take complex food. Okay, so I don't need to tell you those things. Okay, anyhow, because it is a bit complex food we are taking, so that's why our digestive system is little bit complex. Okay, so well, if we just imagine about the amoeba, that single cell amoeba, because its food is really simple, what it will eat? It will eat some planktons, or it will take some water, or it will just take some particles from the surroundings. Okay, so its method of feeding is really simple, not like ours. So the more complex is the food, the more complex is the digestive system. Okay, and as we all know, with due course of evolution, our digestive system has been modulated from very simple type of like that of amoeba, through it goes to coelentrates with the tentacles, to the mammals with very digestive system. Okay, so someone is asking for entry. Let me ask whether I can take or not. Okay, I can take one. Welcome, Suchismita. My name is also Suchismita. Oh, I have not introduced myself. My name is Suchismita Behra. Okay. So, welcome, Suchismita. Because we have already started our class, you can just put your roll number in the chat box. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Someone else is also presenting. Suchismita, just stop your presentation. Otherwise, my presentation will not be visible. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, now my screen is visible. Okay, so so according to that, a particular digestive system is created by the nature. Okay, so God is great because with the evolution, with due course of evolution, with the complexity of the food, our digestive system has evolved like that. Okay, so digestion, as you all know, it is a process. It involves the mechanical and chemical digestion, and it gives you four types of main macromolecules, that is your nucleic acids, protein, carbohydrates, and fats, but which further needs to be again gets down into broken down into smaller molecules, that are nucleotides, amino acids, simple sugars, and fatty acids, that will get absorbed along with vitamin, minerals, and water, which are part of our enzymatic and metabolic system in our body. That's why we need a digestive system which can break down to very, very minute, tiny, smaller particles of the molecule. Okay. So let us go through a generalized digestive system. So in the case of vertebrates, you will find a common system of digestion. Okay, so all vertebrates contain a common type of system of digestion that involves mouth, along with the salivary gland, esophagus, gallbladder. Okay, sorry. After esophagus, we have stomach. Okay, and the small intestine is assessed with pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. That will be large intestine, rectum, and anus. But the digestive system in case of invertebrates is little bit different. Also in case of birds, the digestive system is little bit different because they need to store their food, because as we know, suppose I will give you example of birds or insect, they need to fly more. Okay, so birds need to fly over a particular height. Okay, so and their digestive system must be powerful enough so that they can mechanically digest any sort of hard food also. Okay, so if we see the digestive system of invertebrates, okay, and birds, you will find there is a specialized organ known as crops, which involves storing like that of our stomach, and gizzard, that is the purpose of grinding. Okay, and you will find another structure known as proventriculus in case of insect. Okay, so again there will be small intestine, midgut, large intestine, and hindgut. Okay, so again someone is asking. Okay, so I am requesting who joined right now, just put their roll number in the chat box. Okay. So this is the generalized structure of our digestive system. Okay. So let us move further. Okay. So we can divide the physiology of digestion into two types. One according to the organs present in a digestive system, another by the enzymes or the biomolecules that gets degraded. We can divide into, so that can be divided into two types. One is your chemical digestion, one is your mechanical digestion. Okay, so if we see in the chemical digestion, so what will happen? So we divide biomolecules into in a chief three types. Okay, so one is your protein, one is your lipid, another is your carbohydrate. So in protein, the proteins are, as you know, it is made up of amino acids. So there are certain essential amino acids, there are certain non-essential amino acids. So can any of you just let me know how many essential amino acids are there in the body, or the how many essential amino acids the body requires? Any of you, just let me know if you have gone through the your books. How many essential amino acids we require? Humans. Subhranshu, can you just tell me?
I think, ma'am, 10.
Yeah, it's 11 actually. Okay, because
Oh, sorry. Huh.
no, okay, it's fine because arginine, that was considered as semi-essential amino acid. You are right. You are perfectly right. There's 10 number of amino acid, essential amino acid, and the arginine is semi-essential. Let me see, sir. Just a minute. The number is right now. Okay. Right now it will be 10.
Okay.
Okay. ओके हाँ 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 मोर गोटे रिक्वेस्ट जो माने नुआ जॉइन करचंती से माने तांका रोल नंबर चैट बॉक्स रे लिखि दियंतु जो माने नुआ जॉइन करचंती because this is the first class please write your roll number in the chat box ये भी नुआ जॉइन करले okay so okay, so as I told you, there are 11 essential amino acid. So 11 essential amino acid, that means again someone is sir entry करेबी ना नहीं और entry करेबी first class टा तो okay 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 जो मैंने नुआ जॉइन करचंदी प्लीज पुट योर रोल नंबर इन द चैट बॉक्स जो मैंने नुआ जॉइन कले दया करी निज रोल नंबर चैट बॉक्स रे लिखि दियंतु सो एपर्यंत जमा 1 2 3 4 5 6 जण लिखिचंदी चैट बॉक्स रे सो मु रिक्वेस्ट करछि अन्य मानको तांकर रोल नंबर चैट बॉक्स रे लिखि दियंतु ओके okay sorry for interruption okay so this essential amino acids as I told you it doesn't mean that this essential means it is required okay that and non-essential that doesn't mean that it is not required it is also required but it can be synthesized by our body whereas this essential amino acid it can be synthesized by our body by some metabolic processes, but the process is really slow. That's why we have classified the amino acids into essential and non-essential type. Okay. So, as you all know, these proteins and peptides are formed of amino acids, different types of amino acids. Okay. And when we take this protein or peptides in our food, it requires to, needs to get digested. So there are different types of peptidases such as endopeptidases and exopeptidases. So as the name suggests, endopeptidases means the enzyme breaks the peptide chain and in the middle of the peptide chain. So तमे जानिच एमिनो एसिड गुड़ाक पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड द्वारा परस्पर सहित कनेक्शन हे थांती जे कि गोटे पेप्टाइड चेन करे सो एंडोपेप्टिडेज रो काम कोन से इन बिटवीन पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड टाको ब्रेक करिवो आ एक्सोपेप्टिडेज रो काम कोन से आइदर पेप्टाइड चेन रो गोटे अमीनो टर्मिनल एंड और कार्बोक्सी टर्मिनल एंड रो ब्रेक करिवो दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एंडोपेप्टिडेज एंड exopeptidases. So in the digestive enzymes such as your pepsin which is present in stomach, trypsin present that is secreted from pancreas, so it acts in the small intestine, as well as chymotrypsin that is secreted from pancreas as well as works in the small intestine. So all these three types of digestive enzymes are endopeptidases, whereas there are certain exopeptidases such as aminopeptidases, procarboxypeptidase and dipeptidase. So these three types of enzyme, they work differently. That means they work differently means it acts specifically on a particular amino acid. Okay, suppose if I will give example of pepsin, where it will act, where the tyrosine, tryptophan or phenylalanine is present, it will break that particular peptide bond. Okay, so these aminopeptidases, if you see this exopeptidases, aminopeptidase will break the amino acid from one side of the peptide chain, that is the amino terminal chain. Whereas this procarboxypeptidase, it will cut the amino acid from the carboxylic side, and the dipeptidases, it simultaneously it forms a bond between pairs of amino acid. ओके पेयर्स ऑफ अमीनो एसिड माने एमाने अमीनो पेप्टिडेज कोन करियो गोटे अमीनो एसिड काटिबो किबा प्रो कार्बोक्सी पेप्टिडेज गोटे अमीनो एसिड काटिबो ये अमीनो एसिड साइड रो काटिबो ये कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड साइड रो काटिबो whereas this dipeptidase it forms a bond माने दीटा करकी हला दीटा अमीनो एसिड करकी गोटे पर्टिकुलर साइट रो काटिबे those are dipeptidases so all these particular enzymes helps in breaking of protein into tiny peptide molecule okay so after छोटे छोटे पेप्टाइड हला परे then what else are there further peptidases will make simple amino acids okay so let us go to the digestion of carbohydrate so we take the carbohydrate either in the form of glycogen or in the form of starch or in the form of cellulose okay so any of you can tell me what is the difference between this glycogen starch and cellulose all are glucose or something different some difference are there because if we see the molecular formula is same for these three then what can be the difference so I am going inside the biochemistry
The position of, madam, I think that carbon and hydrogen groups position.
yeah the position of the glycosidic bond okay
Yes, ma'am.
so these three differs in the position of the glycosidic bond because their composition of is same. Okay, so because these are all polymers of glucose, nothing but polymers of glucose, hexoses. So their composition is totally same, but they differ only in their glycosidic bonds. So glycosidic bond is, you must have known that the bond between two monosaccharides is known as glycosidic bond. Okay, so inside our body, this glycogen is digested by amylases to form maltoses. So maltose is a disaccharide which again divide to form glucose. Again, this starch can be converted to glucose through this pathway, and cellulose can be again converted to glucose. So it will first converted to cellobiose, and there are so this cellulose you will find in case of cellulase enzyme, you will find in case of ruminants. So human, although they contain some cellulose, but it is really less amount to digest this. नले आमने भी काठ खाइबा start करते. Okay, घास भास खाइबा start करते. Okay, so it is very much less present in our body. So this cellobiose again gets converted to glucose. So there are three haloses. Okay, so the ultimate form is your glucose, galactose, or fructose. Okay, and that can be easily absorbed. Okay, so next is your fat. Okay, so another person is asking. Sorry, because this is the first class. We are just streamlining this. Okay, Khana Prabha, please put your roll number in the chat box. Okay, so you are a newcomer, just put your roll number in the chat box. Okay. Another person is coming. Okay, so what about the fats? Okay, so fats are larger molecule or smaller molecules. Fats are larger molecule than proteins and glycogen, or these are larger molecule. Any of you, just a good guess. Give me a good guess.
I think larger, ma'am.
Yes, because these are long chains of fatty acid. Again, those fatty acids are interconnected with each other. So whatever fat we take, it is really hard for digestion. So ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଦେଖିଥିବେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ବହୁତ amount of fat ନିଅନ୍ତି ଯଦି ତାଙ୍କର digestion proper ନା ହେଲା, those people will suffer with fatty liver disease because the fats will get deposited in the liver outer surface. Okay. So the digestive process of fat is really complicated. सेठी कोन एंजाइम गुडा अछि ओके प्रत्येक एंजाइम कोन कला ना डाइजेस्ट करी करी चलला. What about the fat? But these fats are larger globules, okay, and they needs to be transferred into smaller droplets. Okay, so how this can happen? So तमने पढिथिबो कहि परियो fat गुडा smaller droplet केमिति हुए? How
Emulsification?
Emulsification. Okay, so bile is the salt, and I don't need to tell you the composition of bile. Okay, by the process of emulsification, it is emulsified into small micelles or droplets, you can say. Okay. Further, these droplets, okay, these droplets can be digested by lipases. So there are two types of lipases. One is your gastric lipase, one is your pancreatic lipase. Okay, gastric lipase means there are certain lipases secreted from the wall of the stomach, as well as there are certain lipases that are formed in the pancreas. Okay, so the pancreatic lipase is the main lipase that can actually that can actually digest the fat. Okay, so the simplest type of fat is your, or you can say fatty acid is your triglyceride. Triglyceride, anyone has any idea what is a triglyceride? Triglyceride ki koi paribo, what is a triglyceride? Any of you padicho triglyceride kono? So, okay, let me tell you. So, triglyceride is the smallest or simplest type of fatty acids, okay, in which there is a triphosphate group, and to each phosphate group, one glycerol group is attached. Okay, so that forms your triglyceride, which is the simplest type of fatty acid. This will again digested by lipases, so that a monoglyceride will be formed, because there you will find there are 3 carbons. Okay, 3 carbons get attached to the glycerol. Okay, so in monoglyceride, what will happen? So this fatty acid chains will be liberated, and this will be a separated monoglyceride will be released. Okay, so these fats, which is a little bit complex in the process of digestion, so it needs to get emulsified first, then it by the action of lipases, this monoglyceride and fatty acids can be formed. Okay, so if we think about the fatty acids, there are certain essential fatty acids also, and there are certain non-essential fatty acids like that of amino acids. So essential fatty acids are your linoleic acid, linoleic acid, and arachidonic acid. Okay, so anyone can you just tell me what is the carbon number of arachidonic acid?
No idea, ma'am.
Okay, so these are long chain fatty acids starting from C18, C20, and C22. Okay, so those fatty acids are actually essential for our body, because our body cannot synthesize that. Okay, and from where you will get this fatty acid? So the fish is a good and rich source of this fatty acid. So sethipai jo mane heart patient thanti tanko good fat kodu darkar hoy, mone kar tamra pamphret fish achi. So this pamphret fish is rich in those type of fatty acids. Okay, so here you can ask me a question, ma'am. तो कहले होची गोटे एसेंशियल एंड नॉन एसेंशियल कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स अछंती, सॉरी अमीनो एसिड्स अछंती, एंड essential and non-essential fatty acids अछंती. What about the carbohydrates? Is there any essential and non-essential carbohydrate? So the carbohydrate we can classify as a preferred carbohydrate and non-preferred carbohydrate. So preferred carbohydrate are those carbohydrates which can result in optimum growth, and non-preferred carbohydrate are those carbohydrates which will not give you optimum growth. माने किछि कार्बोहाइड्रेट जदि आमे नबा हमर ग्रोथ टा प्रॉपर हबो, किछि कार्बोहाइड्रेट अछि जोटा को नेले ग्रोथ टा प्रॉपर हबो नाही. So what is this structure? So this is the structure of a micelle. Okay, so in micelle, what this is the structure. So what you will observe here, the hydrophilic heads in the micelle are towards the cytosol or the cytoplasmic environment, and the hydrophobic tails are inside, and it contains some aqueous solution. हला लिपिड रो गोटे प्रॉपर्टी होची ताकू जदी से स्ट्रेट चेन रे केबे रहबोनी, हला किबा गोटे लॉन्ग चेन फैटी एसिड से स्ट्रेट चेन रे रहबोनी, से सबले कोन करिवो ना गोटे बॉल लाइक स्ट्रक्चर बनेवार तार प्रॉपर्टी अछि. किमिति ना हाइड्रोफिलिक हेड गुडा को सबले वाटरी बा एक्वास एनवायरनमेंट को रहबे, आ हाइड्रोफोबिक टेल गुडा का इनसाइड को रहबे, लाइक दैट ऑफ योर प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, which you must have studied in the cytology part. Okay, So let us quickly go to the regulation of this digestive system. So there are different types of hormones. You can say that actually regulates the process of digestion. So this table gives you one representation of this regulation. So one of the major hormone is gastrin. Okay, that is secreted by stomach. Okay, so आमको भोक लागले आम जानिबा केमती आमको भोक लागछ हमर स्टोमक मनकर खाली हे गेला केमिति जानिबा एनीवन जस्ट एनी ऑफ यू जस्ट लेट मी नो जदि हमर स्टोमक खाली हे गेला
Maybe through signaling system.
Yes, actually, when when your stomach is empty, this gastrin gets secreted. Okay, so when this stimulus, this gastrin gives some signal via this parasympathetic system, and there is a hunger center in our hypothalamus. Okay, by which we feel hungry. Okay, and there is another hormone, you can say, known as secretin. Someone else is again asking for entry. Okay, I again request you, जो माने निजो रोल नंबर चैट बॉक्स रे लिखि नांती से माने निजो रोल नंबर चैट बॉक्स रे लिखि दियंतु काइंडली. Okay. Okay, so that is the role of this gastrin. Okay, and this secretin. Okay, that is secreted by duodenum. How it gets activated? By the HCl of stomach. हला stomach रो जो HCl टा आसी थाए duodenum भितर को ताधरे secretin secrete हुए. Secretin रो काम कौन हला ना ये pancreatic secretion को mobilize करे. Similarly cholecystokinin हला ताको किए stimulate करची ना तमरो अमीनो एसिड आ फैटी एसिड जोटा स्टोमक रे रिलीज हेची से माने कोन करंती ना डिओडिनम रो ए कोलिसिस्टोकिनिन सॉरी एटी तमरा स्पेलिंग भूल अछि कोलिसिस्टोकिनिन रिलीज करे हेल्प करंती द फंक्शन इज सिमिलर टू दैट ऑफ secretin but the secretin helps the pancreas to secrete more of bicarbonates whereas the cholecystokinin helps the pancreas to secrete more of the pancreatic enzyme. Okay, so that's how these three hormones regulate the entire process of your digestion. Okay, so let us go to a little bit about the physical method of digestion. Okay, so this is the digestive structure. So you must have studied in your schools. The esophagus is connected to stomach. Okay, then stomach contains sieve cell which secretes the HCl, and gastrin helps in secreting the HCl. Okay, so again the food when it comes to the duodenum, from gallbladder the bicarbonate ions get secreted and the bile is also secreted and ultimately the digestion takes place. Okay, so what is this? So any of you just let me know.
Villus structure, ma'am.
Car structure?
Villus
structure. Okay.
Intestine.
Intestine. Okay. Here you can see a term microvilli. So any just let me know what is the difference between a villus and a microvillus.
Singular plural, I think. Villus is a singular.
Then micro kind like
a small one. Villi is a plural form, I think. Villi or villus.
Yes, villi and villus are singular and plural forms, but the microvilli are the villus structure present on a single cell, whereas the villi, these are multicellular structure. So your small intestine, that means small intestine finger-like processes achi. Okay, so those are your villi or singular jodi ame kaya villus, and each from the surface of this epithelial cell. So euda kon gote epithelial lining hala. So each of these cell again put some finger like projection hala. Ye to gote finger like projection emiti roibo gote hala, elevation and depression हिसाब रे रोइबो हाला villi रो. But microvilli काहा को कुआ होची जदी तमरा ए epithelial cell रे पुणी single cell finger like structure होची, those are known as microvilli, and singular जदी कहबो तेसला हला microvillus. So that is the difference between villi and microvilli. Okay, and the purpose is same. Purpose is same means both are needed for absorption. Okay, both are needed for the absorption. Why? It increases the surface area of the intestine. That's why both are needed in the process of absorption. Okay, so जो मैंने चैट बॉक्स रे निज रोल नंबर लिखना काइंडली मु तांको रिक्वेस्ट करछि चैट बॉक्स रे निज रोल नंबर लिखि दियो. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that is the difference between villus and villi. Okay, so let us go to how this absorption takes place. Okay, so because the absorption method it is different for different molecule. Hala, fat pain jo type of absorption, glucose pain that are different, amino acid pain that are different. Okay, so let us go to one of them. So one is first is your glucose. Hala. So glucose is absorbed from the gut lumen from the intestine epithelial cell by one transporter molecule that is known as sodium glucose transporter. Glucose as such absorb heipareni. So it needs a co-transporter, that is sodium, by which glucose can enter into the cell, into the epithelial lining of the intestine. Okay. The epithelial lining of the intestine. Okay, just a minute. So, ताहले कोन हला ना तमरो गोटे एपिथेलियम भितरे जो इंटेस्टाइन भितरे जो एपिथेलियल लाइनिंग थिला ता भितरे बोथ ग्लूकोज गला प्लस सोडियम गला. जदि एपिथेलियल लाइनिंग भितरे सोडियम गला, द सोडियम जदि बेसी बेसी जीवो ताहले कोन होबो, सोडियम एक्युमुलेशन हे जीवो एपिथेलियल लाइनिंग रे. सो दैट नीड्स टू गेट आउट. ओके, सो देयर इज another transporter, okay, which transport sodium to outside by the sodium potassium ATPase pump, whereas there is a second type of transporter known as glucose transporter 2 molecule which transports the glucose to the blood plasma. Okay, so the type of glucose transporter achi, gote hochi glucose transporter 1 आ गोटे होची ग्लूकोज ट्रांसपोर्टर 2. ग्लूकोज ट्रांसपोर्टर 1 कोन करे ना सोडियम सहित ग्लूकोज टा को भितर को नि. Okay, whereas this glucose transporter 2 it helps the glucose molecule to enter into the bloodstream. Okay, आउ सोडियम टा केमती बाहर जाए ना गोटे सोडियम पोटेशियम पंप अछि जे कि सोडियम टा को बाहर कर दिए. Okay, so and how this lipid gets absorbed. Okay, so the lipid actually when the chylomicrons are formed, chylomicron kono na tomoro जेतेबेले इमल्सिफिकेशन हे जिवो माइसेल गोडा को आउरी छोटो छोटो हे कि छोटो छोटो लिपिड लेयर हे जो ए टाइप रो मोनोग्लिसराइड लेयर हे जिवो हला मु तमो देखिली मोनोग्लिसराइड एंड फैटी एसिड्स. ओके, सो ए टाइप रो जिनिस हे जिवो. सो हमर जो विलाई अछि बा विलस अछि. ओके, सो सेठी गोटे लिम्फेटिक वेसल जाइथे ताको कहा जाय लैक्टिल. Okay, and these lipid molecules can directly absorb through these lymphatic vessels or lactil. Okay, and lymph ro ka saito connection achi, obviously both lymphatic system and blood vascular systems are interconnected together. Okay, are interconnected together. So so both will are interconnected together, so by which this will get transferred to the lymphatic system and ultimately to the blood vascular system. Okay, so let us go quickly to the mechanical digestion. Okay, so mechanical digestion in the mouth, it involves the swallowing. Okay, and chemical digestion of carbohydrate takes place here by the enzyme ptyalin. You all must have known this. Okay, and this mechanical digestion also include the peristaltic propulsion. Okay, so here I am just asking you another question: what is reverse peristalsis? If anyone knows, please let me know. What do you mean?
Vomiting, ma'am.
Vomiting. Okay, very good. So reverse peristalsis. So the entire peristaltic process, it starts from esophagus up to the rectum. Of course, the peristaltic process, the rate of peristaltic process is much more higher in case of esophagus. Okay, so this stomach is also responsible for direct absorption of aspirin. Okay, aspirin gote medicine tame khanti jani thibo. Aspirin ro काम कोन तमरा मुंडा जदी पेन कला डायरेक्ट एस्प्रिन नै जा काहे कि ना एटा बहुत क्विकली काम दे किमिति काम दे ना तमरो स्टोमक वेल ताको डायरेक्टली अब्सॉर्ब कर जाए. Okay, so this mechanical digestion also takes place in case of stomach because there are longitudinal and circular muscles in the stomach which helps in mechanical digestion, as well as in the intestine. These muscles are present which gives mechanical digestion. So there is a type of mixing, one of the mixing process in the intestine that is known as segmental mixing. Segmental mixing माने कौन ना तमे मन करो टूथपेस्ट नेलो हला टूथपेस्ट ट्यूब अछि हला ताकू मन करो ट्यूब रो जो मुहटा ताकू बंद कर देला एपर साइड रो टूथपेस्ट को चापिवा स्टार्ट करलो ताले कोन हबो भितरे जो पेस्ट गुडा को आरो पटो को जिवो पुणी सेपर साइड रो चापिले पुणी पेस्ट गुडा को एपर साइड को आसीबो हला. सो in the segmental mixing those type of things happens in the intestine. माने गोटे साइड रे कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होथबो जो मासटा अछि काइम मासटा से आरो पटु जाउथो पुणी आरो पटु मिक्सिंग होथो काइम मासटा आरो साइड को जाउथो. So that is known as your segmental mixing. Okay, so let us have another look to the anatomy of the stomach. Okay, so as you all know, it consists of parietal cell, chief cell, mucus cell, gastric glands are also there. Okay, so this chief cell is responsible of secretion of pepsinogen, and this pepsinogen can be converted to pepsin by the autocatalytic reaction with the influence of HCl that is secreted from the parietal cell. Okay, here I have just given the name, given the terminology autocatalytic reaction. So anyone of you just quickly let me know what is an autocatalytic reaction.
Pepsinogen can be self-converted into pepsin in active form by the help of HCl.
Very good.
Self-catalytic means breakdown.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. So like pepsin, trypsin also can also get activated by autocatalytic reaction. Chymotrypsin can also get activated by autocatalytic reaction. Okay. So here it is your overall process of digestive system. So let us go quickly to the respiratory system. Okay, so respiratory system, as we all know, let us go to the composition of the respiratory system. Okay, so school le padithibe hola air composition kono na 21% oxygen achi, carbon dioxide 0.3% achi, 78% nitrogen achi. Okay, so what makes the process of respiration? Actually, we used to think that our muscle, our lungs, it is the system by which we respire. Actually, it is the property of the gas, or it is the property of oxygen by which we can respire. Okay, so in the process of respiration, the partial pressure of oxygen and the solubility of oxygen plays a main role in the process of respiration. Okay, so partial pressure mane ki koi paribo? What do you mean by partial pressure?
Pressure exerted by individual gases.
Pressure exerted by okay, so yes, the pressure exerted by individual gas in a mixture of gas. Okay, so this partial pressure is actually responsible for the process of respiration in case of humans. Okay, so how? You can ask me how this partial pressure. Okay, as well as the solubility of oxygen. Okay, so in chemistry there is a law known as Henry's law of gas solubility. Okay, so according to this, the gas solubility is dependent on the partial pressure of a particular gas. Okay, so the as the our system or our gaseous system contains a higher partial pressure of oxygen than that of carbon dioxide, that's why we are able to respire. And even the oxygen and carbon dioxide transport that took place, that used to take place in our system, that is only due to the difference in the partial pressure. Okay, So let us go quickly to the different types of respiratory system in from starting from invertebrates to mammals. So this is the structure of a flatworm. So direct body wall is involved in the exchange of gases. That is, these are taking oxygen and breathing out of carbon dioxide. Okay. So ତମମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରୁ ମତେ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ କି ପଚାରିଲନି ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଯଦି 21% oxygen ଅଛି but the nitrogen is 78%, then why this oxygen we are taking instead of nitrogen? Because the partial pressure of nitrogen is higher than that of oxygen, isn't it? So any of you can answer, or I will answer this.
I think for hemoglobin, ma'am, hemoglobin having affinity towards the
No,
oxygen.
hemoglobin କଥା ପରେ ଆସୁଛି, ଆଗ ଆମେ ଭିତରକୁ କାହିଁକି ବେଶୀ oxygen ଟା ଆମେ ନଉଛୁ? Because the
No
solubility
idea.
of oxygen is more than that of nitrogen in aqueous environment. Okay. Because two factors are required. One is partial pressure, one is solubility. Okay. Although this solubility is dependent on partial pressure, yet there are certain factors by which the oxygen can get solubilized more than that of nitrogen. Okay. That's why we are taking the oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. Okay. So then come to this fish. So fish breathe by gills. I don't need to tell you these things. Okay. And in case of terrestrial arthropods, the trachea and tracheoles are there. So trachea, here the trachea is not our trachea. In the structure of lungs, trachea. So these trachea are larger tubules, and these are divided into smaller tracheoles. Okay. And these tracheoles goes to individual cells and tissues of the insect. Okay. And this trachea connected to outside by one spiracle. Kimitha insect manakre jemiti tomara plane dekhibo side of windows jemiti thae series of windows semiti insect ro dekhibo tara dita lateral side a series of windows achi. Okay, series of windows are there by which it can take in the oxygen. Okay. So the highest type of respiratory structure, the highest evolved respiratory structure is your mammalian lungs. Okay. So how this, there will be a major advantages in breathing of air. Okay. So one is your diffusion of oxygen. Here you can see oxygen diffuse some 10,000 times more rapidly in air than in water, and so can diffuse in lungs over several millimeters. Because advantage कौन air breathing रा advantage होची ये 10,000 times water अपेक्षा अधिका diffuse करी परिबो हला. So सेथि पे हमरो कौन होची हमरो जो breathing system बा lung system is more advanced, माने आमे बेसी amount of oxygen नहीं पाउचंती than that of fishes or insect, whatever you the lesser advanced animals. Okay. So that is the main reason. Okay. Energy need कौन एठी हमरो less energy needed to move air over the respiratory surface. Okay, whereas more energy needed to move water over the respiratory surface, as water is much more viscous than air. That's why the air breathing animals are at more advantageous position than the water breathing animals. Okay. So I will go to quickly to the structure of respiratory system. So in respiratory system, you will find there are sinuses, nasal cavity, followed by pharynx, which is the common system to both to oral system as well as to nasal system. There will be there is one larynx. Okay. And this epiglottis that prevents the food material to goes inside to the trachea, and the trachea is made up of this C-shaped cartilage, and this trachea moves into both the lobes of the lungs. Okay. And the right lungs is 3 lobes, whereas the left lungs is 2 lobes. So the trachea divides into bronchus, or you can say bronchi. So there are primary bronchi. Again, primary bronchi divides to secondary bronchi into tertiary bronchi, then terminal bronchi are there. Okay. And the terminal bronchi ends up in smaller alveoli. Okay. So this total respiratory system is divided into 2 types of zone. One is known as respiratory zone, one is known as conducting zone. Okay. Now let me know, what do you mean by this conducting zone and what do you mean by this respiratory zone? What does this name suggest?
They are help conducting zone help to transport the oxygen and respiratory zone help to exchange of gases, carbon dioxide and
Yes.
oxygen.
Uh,
Ma'am, I had a doubt. Can I ask?
yeah, sure.
Ma'am, can you explain what is the role of sinus in respiration?
See, it helps in maintaining certain pressure. See, when our nasal cavity, ତମାନେ ଦେଖିଥିବ ପାଣି ପାଇପରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପାଣିଟା ଯାଉଛି ହେଲା, there is ପାଣିଟା as such flow କରିପାରିବନି ଯଦି ଉପର ପଟେ ଗୋଟେ ହୋଲ ଟାଇପ ର ରିଜନ ନଥିବ, air contact ନଥିବ, isn't it? Like that, this sinus. Okay, so when we are taking the air, there must be certain connection to certain fluid structure over here so that this airflow can go smoothly. Okay, although this sinus sometimes it is not needed by us because it is filled with mucus. Okay, so that's why we need sinuses. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. So shall I stop now? Okay. Okay, because the time, sir, the time limit is very less, so I couldn't complete all. So it is in between the respiratory system. ଆପଣ ମାନଙ୍କର 11ଟା ବେଳେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଅଛି ଗୋଟେ, କୋଉ କ୍ଲାସ୍? ବଟନି କ୍ଲାସ୍. Okay, so shall I continue for few more times or shall I stop?
continue କରନ୍ତୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ ପିଲା ତ ସେ ଅଲଗା ପିଲା 10 ମିନିଟ୍ ନିଅନ୍ତୁ.
Oh, okay. So you people, can you wait for another 10 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So कार गोटे माइक्रोफोन रो इको होची, प्लीज बंद टिके कर देल बेटर होबो. Okay, so this is the trachea. Okay, this is segmental bronchus, terminal bronchus, respiratory bronchial, and as she told you, so this is divided into one conducting zone, one respiratory zone. Conducting zone रे कौन हुए? Air conduction हुए. Respiratory zone रे हमर कौन हुए ना gases exchange हुए in the alveolar. ହେଲା, so alveolar ର structure କେମିତି? ଏଟା ଗୋଟେ ଅଙ୍ଗୁର ପେନ୍ଥା ଭଳିଆ structure. Okay, ଅଙ୍ଗୁର ପେନ୍ଥା ଭଳିଆ structure କଣ? ଏଠି ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଦେଖୁଥିବ ବଲ୍ ଟାଇପ ର ଅଛି ହେଲା, ସେଠି କଣ ଥାଏ? It is made up of squamous epithelium. So if you study tissue, the different types of epithelium, the squamous epithelium is that type of epithelium which is flat. Okay, ମାନେ ଯାହାର ଲମ୍ବାଟା ଛୋଟ ହେଲା, flat ଥିବ, tile like structure, and थिकनेस टा जेहेतु कम थाए, एठी कोन हुए तमर वाटरी एनवायरनमेंट सहित गैसेस एक्सचेंज हे पारे, जो कैपिलरी नेटवर्क के alveolar भीतर थाए से भीतर गैसेस एक्सचेंज हे पारे. So there is a role of vitamin A over here. कोन रोल अछि ना, vitamin A helps in integrity of squamous epithelium. माने squamous epithelium भीतर जो junction रोची, there are tight junction among squamous epithelium. So सेटा कहा जगो मेंटेन होची ना, विटामिन ए जगो मेंटेन होची. So if you are deficient with vitamin A, then obviously your squamous epithelium will get disordered, हला नष्ट हे जवार भी चांस था. Okay, so this lungs structure, come to the structure of lungs. Okay, so the lungs is surrounded by one membrane that is known as pleural membrane. Okay, so there are two types of pleural membrane. One is your parietal pleura, one is your visceral pleura, and in between there is a pleural cavity. Okay, which is filled with the pleural fluid. Okay, so parietal pleura kaha ko kuha jibo na, parietal pleura जे कि thoracic lungs ro outside membrane जे कि thoracic cavity सहित attach हेछि हला. visceral pleura kaha सहित attach हेछि ना, तमरा alveoli सहित attach हेछि. So ता मझिरे रहला pleural cavity जोठी गोटे pleural fluid अछि. Now, so I will end up with this question to you. Tell me, what is the reason that a pleural fluid is there in between the two types of pleura? ये जो parietal pleura और visceral pleura भितरे गोटे pleural fluid काहे की अछि?
For transportation of gases?
No.
And for to lubrication, for the expandation
Yes.
of the lungs?
Yes. That is, it results in, it induces. Suppose मु कहबी गोटे बेलून रे आमे पसे दवा गैस पसे दवा हला गैस पसे की ताको गोटे बाहर पटे गोटे बाल्टी रहबो आमे बेलून टाको प्रेशर दवा कोन हो बेलून टा फाटी जिवो किंतु से बाल्टी भितर जदी गोटे पानी थिबो आ बेलून भितर आमे गैस टा पुरै चंदी ताले बेलून टाको जदी आमे बाल्टी भितर पुरेबा इट विल नॉट डिस्टर्ब ओके सो सिमिलरली इठी जो हमर आउटसाइड गोटे सॉलिड जिंस अछि इंटरकोस्टल मसल को लागि छि तमरो parietal pleura it needs some types of frictionless environment okay so this pleural fluid can provide a frictionless environment so in between the visceral pleura and parietal pleura there is a pleural cavity which contains the pleural fluid okay so jetole lungs ta expansion hobo jodi eti pleural fluid no thanda tale kon hetanda tam lungs ta damage heki phati jai thanda so this gives the protection okay sorry I am ending over here because the time is not there already it is 10:05 anyhow this is the first class that's why I get lesser time so next time onwards I will try to proceed much faster okay so हाँ 11टा कहली समस्ते चैट बॉक्स रे निज निज रोल नंबर लिखि दैचंदी तो whether all have written their roll numbers in the chat box 14 जण अछंदी मते मिसे 13 जण तामन रहइबा कथा 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 सेटा तो रेकॉर्ड हो जे 6 7 सॉरी 6 7 8 9 10 आउ तीन जण के रोल नंबर लिखि नांदी पीके साहू सॉरी आई डिडंट पीके साहू किए टिके आपण माइक्रोफोन ऑन करिवे की पीके साहू किए टिके माइक्रोफोन ऑन करिवे की तांकर रोल नंबर नाही
Yes. Hello.
You don't have your enrollment number?
Yes, I have, but for now I have remember only 5 number or 6 number. I can tell you.
It can. Okay, next class you just give your roll number because it is mandatory that in every class the roll number should be put in the chat box.
Okay, I can tell you now. That is 1975 39359.
Okay, किछ असुविधा ना recording होती. Okay, because it is being recorded. Okay. आउ की दो देई ना दी रोल नंबर ना ये की जने विप्लव मंडल प्रेजेंटेशन करचंदी एबे तो एंट्री देई होबनी बिना एंट्री विप्लव मंडल टिके प्रेजेंटेशन बंद करंतु आपण देइचंती रोल नंबर देइचंती बिल्लपा मंडल सॉरी बिल्लपा मंडल हैव यू गिवन योर रोल नंबर से रेस्पोंड करना दे
ओके हम बर्तन ये रेकॉर्ड कर दियो हां काट दियो और सी तो सेपरेट करछो क्लास
okay so for our convenience I am just putting it in the Microsoft Word
तो ये स्क्रीनशॉट कर लेंगे
स्क्रीनशॉट नहीं
कटिया लगे
हां ना कटिनी नहीं जो स्क्रीनशॉट okay okay oh quit करछे
हां थैंक
you very much okay thank you I would print
Thank you, ma'am.
okay I would print नहीं जेबे okay
hey
okay thank you very much thank you